Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the relifting, that is, setting to the side of the gag order in the D.C. trial before Judge Tanya Chutkan. A brief review of the bidding here. After he makes a series of incendiary statements, she puts into play a gag order that tells him he can't insult trial personnel. He can't target any potential witnesses. Basically her two lookouts here are the integrity of the trial process and the safety of witnesses and court personnel. He appeals, and he's made it clear he really wants to fight this. Judge Chutkan, says, while you're appealing, I'll stay my order. So now he's not under gag order. Then he once again goes full Trump and makes some totally incendiary comments about Mark Meadows, who reports are maybe cooperating or at least testifying under immunity to Jack Smith's grand jury. And the U.S. comes in and says, look, this guy's incorrigible, can't be trusted. He's doing it again. Reimpose the gag order, Chutkan, and Chutkan does exactly that. She says, look, it's 100% clear that what he said about Meadows would have violated the gag order, so I'm reimposing it. She got some argument to try to sculpt it a little bit more and clarify this term of what it means to target. She declined to do it. She just enters it in full. Okay, Trump then immediately appeals to the D.C. Circuit and even includes in his appeal a request that if you turn down my request for a stay here, so his not just appealing, but saying stay this gag order, big First Amendment issue, etc. And if you turn it down, give me 7 days to seek review in the U.S. Supreme Court. So I'm going all out here. And on Friday, the D.C. Circuit entered a stay of the gag order, meaning the gag order is now not in effect. And that caused a lot of people to say, what's going on? Are they going to reverse the gag order? Because we often know now, and, on appeal, when a court, often the U.S. Supreme Court, reaches down and enters a stay, it suggests that they're going to reverse the ruling below. Not here. That's the headline, guys. Not here. This is a so-called administrative stay, and the D.C. Circuit makes that plain on the surface of its order. It's an administrative stay in order for the court to facilitate the court's review. And that's just or to kind of freeze the linebackers while they do review. It's not a stay under an equitable motion where Trump has shown that he's likely to prevail and he's, has real prejudice from the current order. It's rather, and this is just a process that's pretty standard for the D.C. Circuit. It's just, an administrative stay that says until we hear the case, we're going to keep the ruling below off the books. That's in a way the good news. It doesn't mean that it's likely that the Court of Appeals will go the other way. However, it's a 17-day administrative stay for now. In these 17 days, Trump is under no extraordinary or just special obligation not to run his mouth off, make trouble for people, rev up everyone, prejudice the jury pool, perhaps make threatening statements against witnesses. He's got total free reign, and that's a pretty long stretch. We'll see if he does indulge too much. Maybe the Court of Appeals dissolves its administrative stay, reimposes where Chutkan was until they have the argument. So, the second headline here is 17 days. The first headline, not a big augury that they're going to reverse Chutkan, but the second is, a pretty big stretch where he can operate with relative impunity. The third, though, the makeup of the panel. It's a really favorable panel for the United States, a really unfavorable panel for Trump. It is all Democratic appointees, two Obama appointees, Nina Pillard and Patty Millett, and then the newest Judge Garcia appointee to the D.C. Circuit by President Biden. So it is a group that it seems to me is likely to affirm Judge Chutkan on appeal and likely to be sympathetic to the argument that there's no special, he has no special First Amendment rights that would trump, so to speak, the need to protect the trial process. We've talked about this already, but he's going to make these broad gauged arguments about prior restraint under the First Amendment. And really, I think that's a wrong way of thinking about it. The right way of thinking about it is there's a special state interest involved in making a trial run smoothly and safely. And that's the analysis that the court has to undertake for a gag order, as opposed for the one that they would undertake, say, if someone was requiring the New York Times not to publish an article or a prior restraint of actual content. This isn't about content. This is about safeguarding the integrity of the trial. Okay, and so that's the third point. So, to summarize, the stay is back in effect, meaning the gag is off. But it's an administrative stay, not the kind of stay that suggests the court's going to definitely reverse. But it's 17 days, and Donald Trump can do real damage in 17 days. But the panel is a very strong one for Smith, a very inauspicious one for Trump. So when these 17 days pass, I look for a order affirming Chutkan. Trump has said he'll go to the U.S. Supreme Court. Doesn't seem to me a very attractive thing for them to reach down and try to reverse. I think they'll probably just let it go. But at that point, if there's a stay in place, then his ability to do further damage will be sharply limited. So I think we've got the return of the gag order, but not until after Trump has a period of freedom. However, if he abuses it, as he's wont to do, the Court of Appeals can and would, I think, very quickly reimpose it. So basically, it's good news with a few little asterisks for the perpetuation of the gag order and the muzzling of Trump to a certain point. And this is the final point to make. At the end of the day, it's up to Trump whether or not he wants to go to jail. Most very, very few litigants would want to when a whole court system says you are gagged, pal. Most people everybody would comply. There's real reason to think here, though, that he is going to be eager for his own either contrariness or political, self-perceived agenda to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and violate a gag order till Chutkan has no choice but to say, next time you're in jail, does it again, and next time he is. In other words, the ultimate dynamic here is one that is subject to Trump's caprices and political agenda and maybe diluted or maybe not diluted view of what it will most inflame his political supporters and therefore serve his broader purpose and weird legal strategy of doing what? Winning the presidency and taking it from there. So that's the overall package of what's going on with the gag order. See if he abuses it over the next 17 days. If he does, see whether the Court of Appeals reinstates the gag order. If he doesn't, look for a fairly prompt order from the Court of Appeals reinstating it. And my best guess, the Supreme Court declining to get involved. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.